Welcome to our video. Hollywood, the land of glitz, glamour, and dreams. While most actors play villains on screen, some have lived out their most chilling roles off camera. Tonight, we're peeling back the facade to uncover the chilling truths about the most sinister figures in Hollywood history. From power-hungry manipulators to scandal-drenched schemers, this list dives deep into the actors whose real-life actions rival the plots of the darkest Hollywood thrillers. Elizabeth Taylor, Hollywood's husband hunter. Elizabeth Taylor wasn't just a screen siren, she was a force of nature. Her beauty was otherworldly, her charisma magnetic. But behind the dazzling diamonds and legendary violet eyes lay a woman whose personal life rivaled the most scandalous Hollywood scripts. Debbie Reynolds, a former best friend and one-time casualty of Taylor's romantic escapades, once called her the most beautiful venomous snake I've ever seen. And with good reason. The drama unfolded in the late 1950s when Taylor, grieving the tragic death of her third husband, Mike Todd, found solace in an unlikely place: Todd's best friend, Eddie Fisher. The catch? Fisher was married to Reynolds, America's sweetheart, and Taylor's supposed confidant. But friendship proved no match for Taylor's relentless charm. She seduced Fisher, leaving Reynolds devastated and Hollywood reeling. Fisher's career took a nosedive, his wholesome image obliterated by morality clauses, while Taylor emerged unscathed, her star power seemingly invincible. Yet Taylor wasn't done. 5 years later, with Fisher's career in tatters and their marriage in ruins, she set her sights on Richard Burton during the filming of Cleopatra. Their affair, scandalous and unapologetic, rocked the entertainment world and redefined tabloid culture. It wasn't love, one on-set observer claimed. It was the madness of a sex addict. Burton became her fifth husband, and their tumultuous relationship, marked by passion, public spats, and 2 marriages, cemented her reputation as Hollywood's ultimate femme fatale. Over the course of 8 marriages, Taylor left a wake of broken hearts and shattered families, all while preserving her image as an untouchable icon. One industry insider quipped, "She consumed men like others consume breakfast, and she was always hungry for more." Her story isn't just about love and betrayal, it's a testament to the power, beauty, and danger of Hollywood's golden age. Should I continue with more gruesome details about the scandals and their impact on Hollywood history? Marlon Brando, the beautiful monster of Hollywood. Marlon Brando, the legendary actor who reshaped cinematic performances, left an indelible mark on Hollywood with his immense talent. His charisma and undeniable screen presence captivated audiences, but behind the scenes, his life was marked by complexities that revealed a darker side. Rita Moreno, a celebrated actress and Brando's partner during a turbulent 8-year relationship, shared deeply personal experiences about their time together. She recounted moments of emotional strain and challenges in their relationship, describing an environment that took a toll on her well-being. Moreno's openness sheds light on the difficulties that can accompany personal relationships in the high-pressure world of Hollywood. The controversy surrounding the filming of Last Tango in Paris further highlighted the complexities of Brando's career. Maria Schneider, who starred alongside Brando, spoke candidly years later about her discomfort with certain scenes, describing them as unscripted and emotionally taxing. Her reflections have sparked important conversations about consent and the ethical responsibilities of filmmakers, shedding light on the need for greater care in creative collaborations. Even within his family, Brando's life was marked by struggles. His son, Christian, faced legal troubles, and his daughter, Cheyenne, experienced profound personal challenges. These events underscored the difficulties faced by families navigating fame and public scrutiny. By the end of his life, Brando's legacy remained a complex mixture of artistic genius and personal struggles, leaving behind stories that continue to shape Hollywood's evolving narrative. Kirk Douglas, Hollywood's golden monster. Kirk Douglas, celebrated as one of the last legends of Hollywood's golden age, carried a darkness that starkly contrasted his on-screen heroism. With his chiseled jawline, dimpled chin, and commanding presence, he symbolized the classic American movie star. But behind that polished facade, a predator lurked, leaving behind whispers of destruction that would haunt his legacy. The Chateau Marmont, a site synonymous with Hollywood glamour, holds a darker tale allegedly involving a young Natalie Wood. Reports claim Douglas threatened her with chilling words. What followed was said to be hours of unimaginable horror. The incident, buried beneath the sheen of his stardom, speaks to the kind of power Douglas wielded, a power that enabled him to silence victims and maintain his place atop the Hollywood elite. Douglas wasn't just an actor, he was a manipulator, adept at playing both hero and villain in real life. While publicly championing justice by helping end the Hollywood blacklist with Spartacus, insiders allege he was simultaneously building his own list, one of young actresses whose careers he controlled and ultimately destroyed. He collected them like trading cards, a former agent revealed, and once he was done, they were cast aside, their futures in Hollywood obliterated. The whispers surrounding Douglas grew louder as the decades passed, painting a portrait of a man who used his charm as a weapon. Tales of assaults, threats that ended careers, and lives shattered by his actions remained an open secret in Hollywood. Yet, like a true sociopath, Douglas maintained his golden image, crafting a legacy that continues to spark both admiration and unease. His story remains one of the darkest chapters in Tinseltown's history, a chilling reminder of the cost of unchecked power. If you want to explore the journey with me, please leave number 1 and watch this video until the end. Interesting things are waiting for you in the video. James Dean, the demon behind the dream. James Dean, the brooding poster boy of teenage rebellion, became an icon for generations, yearning for freedom and individuality. But behind the dreamy smirk and iconic red jacket lay a man far removed from the myth. Dean wasn't just difficult. He was a tempestuous, foul-mouthed nightmare whose off-screen behavior overshadowed his on-screen brilliance. John Wayne's brutal quip, "He's an idiot. Acting is the only thing he's smart enough to do," may have been harsh, but it barely scratched the surface. Dean's ego and erratic temperament terrorized his co-stars and colleagues alike. Rock Hudson, typically the epitome of grace, admitted, "He was hard to be around, always sulky, never smiled, no manners." On Broadway, long before Rebel Without a Cause launched him to fame, Dean's antics were infamous. Co-stars accused him of intentionally sabotaging performances, altering movements mid-scene to throw them off balance, then smirking as they struggled to recover. He was like a child pulling wings off flies, one former colleague grimly recounted. His sadistic streak wasn't just limited to the stage. Dean's unprofessionalism extended to every aspect of his work, leaving behind a trail of frustrated directors and alienated co-stars. When Dean tragically died at 24, he became a symbol of youthful rebellion and a martyr for a generation. But to those who knew him, his early death wasn't romantic. As the world mourned the loss of a rising star, Hollywood insiders breathed a quiet sigh of relief. Joan Crawford, Hollywood's darkest role. Joan Crawford, the silver screen goddess of Hollywood's golden age, embodied glamour, elegance, and maternal devotion in roles like Mildred Pierce. With her dazzling smile and iconic style, she became the ultimate symbol of perfection. But behind the velvet curtains of her Beverly Hills mansion, the reality was far from the loving mother she portrayed on film. According to her daughter, Christina Crawford's shocking memoir, Mommy Dearest, Joan's most haunting performance wasn't on screen, it was at home. Christina, adopted into what seemed like a picture-perfect Hollywood family, revealed a childhood of fear and harsh discipline. At 13, she described an incident where Joan allegedly expressed her anger in a way that left a lasting impression. Christina recalled, her words chilling and unforgettable. And then there were the infamous wire hangers, a symbol now synonymous with Joan's alleged punishments. Scalding water, screaming tirades, and a terrifying composure made these moments unforgettable for her children. Hollywood was captivated by Joan's brilliance, oblivious to the storm brewing behind closed doors. The Academy Award winner wasn't just acting in movies, she was acting in life, crafting a persona so perfect that no one dared question what lay beneath. Christina's memoir tore apart that illusion, exposing the duality of a woman who ruled the box office and, allegedly, her home with an iron fist. Joan Crawford may have been a queen of Hollywood, but the stories left behind suggest her reign was one of fear and control. Her legacy, now both golden and haunting, forces us to question how far the price of perfection can go and who pays it. Jerry Lewis comedy's dark shadow. Jerry Lewis, the legendary master of slapstick, revolutionized comedy and left an indelible mark on generations with his unmatched talent and tireless charity work. Known for his iconic routines and larger-than-life persona, Lewis was a symbol of humor and generosity. Jim Carrey once said, "I am because he was," a testament to Lewis's profound influence. However, behind the public adoration lay a more complicated personal story. Joseph Lewis, Jerry's youngest son, shared accounts of a strained relationship with his father. He described a childhood filled with challenges and eventual estrangement. Over time, their relationship deteriorated to the point of complete disconnection. When Joseph passed away at 45, his death reportedly due to an overdose, Jerry Lewis's response was notably subdued, leading to speculation about the impact of their fractured bond. Family members and insiders have offered differing perspectives on these events, painting a picture of a father who wrestled with personal struggles behind his public persona. Beneath the spotlight and the applause, Jerry Lewis's life was a mix of brilliance and complexity. While the world celebrated his humor and humanitarian efforts, his family's stories added depth to the narrative of a man whose legacy is as multifaceted as his career. This juxtaposition of public admiration and private challenges remains a poignant reminder of the humanity behind Hollywood's brightest stars. Bill Cosby, America's darkest nightmare. For decades, Bill Cosby was America's dad, a trusted symbol of family values and wholesome entertainment. His portrayal of Dr. Cliff Huxtable on The Cosby Show was the epitome of a loving, wise father figure. But behind the carefully cultivated mask lay a predator who orchestrated one of Hollywood's most horrifying patterns of abuse. Over 50 years, Cosby weaponized his charm, celebrity, and public persona to systematically target and destroy the lives of countless women. The worst part wasn't the attack, revealed one of his more than 60 accusers. It was watching him play the perfect father on TV afterward. Cosby's method was chillingly calculated. Using his reputation as a mentor and gatekeeper to Hollywood, he groomed aspiring actresses and models, offering career advice and mentorship before drugging and assaulting them. Quaaludes were his weapon of choice, and trust was the tool he wielded most effectively. Every assault followed a disturbingly familiar script. A young woman, a promised opportunity, a spiked drink, and the darkness that followed. He had it down to a science, said one victim's attorney. The true horror lay not only in the acts themselves, but in Cosby's ability to hide in plain sight. Who would believe these women over Dr. Huxtable? A criminal psychologist noted that The Cosby Show served as a defensive shield, reinforcing his image as a beloved father figure and making the victims' stories seem unbelievable. Even after his conviction, Cosby displayed no remorse. Upon his release on a legal technicality, he audaciously painted himself as a victim of racial injustice, continuing to manipulate the narrative. He's not just a predator, said one accuser. "He's a masterful manipulator still trying to rewrite his history of horror. The full extent of Cosby's crimes may never be known. For every woman who bravely stepped forward, many more likely stayed silent, paralyzed by the trauma and fear of exposure. His legacy isn't just a beloved TV show forever tainted. It's a chilling reminder of how predators can thrive under the guise of cultural heroism, leaving a half-century reign of terror in their wake." Lucille Ball, the tyrannical queen of television. Lucille Ball, the red-headed darling of American television, built an empire that revolutionized the entertainment industry. But beneath the laughs and lovable antics of I Love Lucy, a much darker narrative played out behind the scenes. Tony Randall's polite observation, "She was tough to work with," barely scratches the surface of Ball's reign as one of Hollywood's most demanding and feared figures. Ball was known for running her sets with military precision, brooking no dissent and sparing no one's feelings. She didn't just critique people, she crushed them, a crew member revealed. Her sharp tongue and relentless perfectionism often left young actresses in tears. Public humiliation wasn't just a management tactic, it was an art form she had mastered. She seemed to enjoy breaking people, one producer admitted, speculating that it stemmed from some unspoken turmoil within her. Despite her fearsome reputation, Ball's iron grip on her productions also made her a trailblazer. She broke barriers, dominated a male-dominated industry, and became one of television's first true moguls. Yet, for those who worked under her, the cost of her success was often a bruised ego and sometimes a broken spirit. Lucille Ball may have been America's favorite redhead, but behind the cameras, she was Hollywood's most formidable taskmaster. Bette Davis, Hollywood's most beautiful nightmare. Bette Davis, the cinematic icon known for her piercing eyes and unparalleled talent, was Hollywood royalty. But her reign came with a sinister edge. Davis wasn't just a powerhouse performer, she was a force of nature whose venom extended far beyond the silver screen. Co-stars and crew alike whispered of her calculated cruelty, and those who crossed her path often found their careers in ruins, courtesy of a single call from the Queen herself. Her legendary feud with Joan Crawford reached its crescendo during the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? On set, Davis allegedly kicked Crawford in the head, not as part of the script, but with deliberate intent. She enjoyed causing real pain, a crew member revealed. The more it hurt, the more she smiled. Crawford wasn't her only victim. Tales of Davis's ruthless antics filled the industry, solidifying her reputation as a tyrant cloaked in elegance. Even Davis's own family wasn't immune. Her daughter, B.D. Hyman, lifted the veil in her scathing memoir, describing her mother as nothing short of monstrous. Mother wasn't acting in her horror films, B.D. wrote. She was just being herself. Davis's cold response? She can write whatever lies she wants. She's dead to me anyway. Bette Davis remains one of Hollywood's most complex figures, a woman whose talent knew no bounds, but whose darker impulses left a trail of broken relationships and shattered lives in their wake. Behind the glamour and accolades was a nightmare few dared to confront, but many would never forget. Spencer Tracy, a dual legacy. Spencer Tracy, celebrated as one of Hollywood's greatest actors, built his career portraying characters of integrity and moral conviction. To the public, he was a devoted Catholic who upheld his marriage vows despite his well-documented relationship with Katharine Hepburn. However, behind the scenes, Tracy's private life was far more complicated, revealing contradictions that cast a shadow on his carefully cultivated image. Rumors of Tracy's romantic entanglements were widespread within the Hollywood studio system. Stories circulated about his numerous relationships with leading ladies such as Ingrid Bergman, Jean Tierney, and Hedy Lamarr. These relationships, described by insiders as less about romance and more about power dynamics, painted a picture of a man whose personal life was at odds with the upright characters he portrayed on screen. One studio executive noted, he had a way of captivating people, but it wasn't always benign. Even his famous partnership with Katharine Hepburn, long romanticized as one of Hollywood's great love stories, was reportedly complex and nuanced. Their relationship, lasting 26 years, was kept discreet, but was widely known within industry circles. While Tracy never left his wife, insiders suggest the relationship was less idyllic than it appeared, rooted in a dynamic of control that contrasted sharply with public perceptions. Spencer Tracy's life exemplifies the duality often found in Hollywood legends. His unparalleled talent and charisma secured his place as a cinematic icon, but his personal choices and relationships add layers to his legacy, reminding us of the complexities behind the silver screen's brightest stars. Errol Flynn, a troubling legacy behind the swashbuckler. Errol Flynn, the dashing star of Hollywood's golden age, was the embodiment of charm and adventure on screen. Known for his iconic roles in swashbuckling films like The Adventures of Robin Hood, Flynn became a household name, synonymous with heroism and charisma. However, behind the glitz and glamour lay a far more troubling side to his legacy. In 1942, Flynn faced serious allegations involving underage girls, including incidents reportedly taking place on his yacht and at lavish parties in his Hollywood mansion. The charges led to a high-profile trial that captivated the public. Flynn, who allegedly referred to the young girls as his little flowers, maintained his innocence, and his powerful legal team worked tirelessly to defend him. Despite the gravity of the accusations, Flynn's trial ended in acquittal, leaving many questioning whether his fame and influence shielded him from accountability. During this tumultuous period, Flynn's career remarkably remained unaffected. He continued to star in patriotic war films, portraying valiant heroes, while his personal life painted a starkly different picture. His ability to maintain his Hollywood status amid such allegations underscored the industry's power to protect its stars, often at the expense of justice for the vulnerable. Errol Flynn's legacy is a complex tapestry of cinematic brilliance and deeply controversial personal conduct. While his on-screen performances continue to captivate audiences, the stories surrounding his private life remain a stark reminder of the darker realities that sometimes linger behind the Hollywood spotlight. Frank Sinatra, the dark side of the voice. Frank Sinatra, known as Old Blue Eyes, was a global icon whose velvety voice and magnetic charisma defined an era. He crooned about love, heartbreak, and doing it my way, becoming a legend of music and film. But behind the microphone, Sinatra's life was far more turbulent and controversial than his polished image suggested. In 1938, Sinatra faced jail time for what was termed seduction, a charge that hinted at his complex personal life. Over the next 4 decades, the FBI tracked his activities in a now infamous 300-page file. While Sinatra's connections to organized crime have long been rumored, one agent allegedly remarked, he wasn't just connected, he was worse than the mobsters themselves. These connections reportedly enabled Sinatra to exert power far beyond the stage, using intimidation and influence to protect his image and silence dissent. Sinatra's tactics weren't limited to charm. Stories emerged of him threatening journalists, orchestrating beatings, and leveraging his ties to powerful figures to settle personal scores. His darker actions revealed a man who wasn't afraid to cross lines to maintain his status, casting a shadow over his legacy of iconic songs and cinematic performances. While Sinatra's voice immortalized him as a cultural icon, the stories surrounding his private life add complexity to his legend. His a blend of undeniable artistry and the unchecked power of a star operating at the intersection of fame and influence. Orson Welles, the shadow behind the genius. Orson Welles, heralded as one of the greatest creative minds in cinema history, left an undeniable mark with groundbreaking works like Citizen Kane. But beneath the genius lay a figure as complex and divisive as his films, a man whose talent was rivaled only by his sharp tongue and even sharper temper. Welles's infamous wit often crossed into outright cruelty. His barbs spared no one, from calling Marlon Brando a huge sausage, a shoe made of flesh, to expressing disdain for Bette Davis's very existence. His scorn extended even to those who paid him. While collecting a paycheck for voiceover work, he reportedly mocked his employers with biting sarcasm. He hated everyone who paid him, a former agent remarked, but he hated himself more. Welles's voracious appetite for food became a symbol of his excess, but colleagues noted a more profound hunger, his tendency to devour people's spirits. His relentless criticism and domineering personality left many collaborators drained and disillusioned. As his career waned, Welles retreated into a solitary life, his physical decline mirroring the emotional toll of years spent alienating those around him. Orson Welles remains an enigma, an unparalleled genius whose brilliance was matched by his self-destructive tendencies. While his artistic legacy continues to inspire, the man behind the camera remains a cautionary tale of the perils of unchecked ambition and ego. W.C. Fields, the complex figure behind the comedy. W.C. Fields, famed for his sharp wit and signature grumpiness, became an enduring symbol of comedic misanthropy. Known for his love of gin and his disdain for children, both staples of his on-screen persona, Fields entertained audiences with his larger-than-life characters. Yet behind the humor lay a complex individual whose off-screen actions often mirrored the exaggerated quirks of his performances. Accounts from those who worked with Fields describe a man who sometimes took his disdain for children too far on set. Some colleagues recalled instances where his interactions with child actors were unsettling, with Fields allegedly making offhand remarks that left them uneasy. While such behavior may have been intended as humor, it left a lasting impression on those who experienced it firsthand. Off the set, Fields's humor could occasionally come across as biting or abrasive, targeting colleagues and acquaintances with sharp jabs. While his comedic genius earned him a place in Hollywood history, his interactions with others revealed a more complicated personality, one that didn't always align with the jovial entertainer audiences adored. W.C. Fields remains a legendary figure in the world of comedy, his performances cherished for their wit and unique charm. Yet, his personal complexities add layers to his legacy, offering a fuller picture of the man behind the laughs. Greta Garbo, the Ice Queen's enigma. Greta Garbo, the legendary Swedish actress renowned for her beauty and mystique, remains one of Hollywood's most fascinating figures. Her reclusive nature and commanding presence on screen cemented her place as an icon of cinema's golden age. However, behind her enigmatic persona lies a more nuanced and complex narrative. Garbo's interactions with her peers occasionally sparked controversy, such as her curt remark to Marion Davies, "To me, you're null and void." While some interpreted these moments as signs of a fiercely independent personality, others suggested they reflected her determination to maintain control over her carefully crafted image. A former assistant once noted, "Her reclusiveness wasn't just about privacy, it was about preserving her power and mystique." Stories from the sets of her films describe Garbo as a figure who was both admired and intimidating. Accounts suggest she could be selective about whom she allowed into her inner circle, with some feeling excluded or unwelcome. While these tales may paint her as distant, they also underscore the pressures faced by a star determined to shield herself from Hollywood's relentless spotlight. Greta Garbo's legacy endures as one of cinema's greatest stars, her films celebrated for their artistry and her life shrouded in intrigue. Her story offers a window into the challenges of fame and the delicate balance of maintaining both privacy and influence in a demanding industry.